And John, honestly, that's what I was speaking to with all the clinch and the grab. Oh, my goodness!
Alex Pereira! That's what I'm talking about. How good is that?
Wow! That's still dangerous. Sanchez wobbly along the fence. He's just a punching bag at this point. Silva hammered away. That's gonna do it. Comeback win for Bruno Silva. Another one.
Alex Pereira versus Bruno Silva. Hey MMA fans of MMA Inside, here we are, back with one more fight that is up in next UFC Fight Night card, where Brazilian middleweight strikers Bruno Silva and Alex Pereira will clash inside the UFC octagon. The fight is scheduled to set on March 12th. The Fight Night card will take place in Las Vegas under the Thiago Santos versus Magomed Ankalaev event. Blindado and Poatan are both riding winning streaks, with all victories coming by way of knockout. Silva, who has an MMA record of 22 wins off from 6 losses during his time as an MMA fighter, he is also a former M1 global middleweight champion. But the special thing about him right now is that he has won his past 7 by stoppage. With 3 of those taking place under the UFC banner in his last fixture, Blindado finished Jordan Wright in just 88 seconds.
Trying to survive.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Silva is...
Oh, that's going to do it. That is it. Bruno!
Pereira, on the other hand, is much like a newbie to MMA, where he has a decent, yet not convincing record of 4 wins to a loss. But not to forget, he is a former 2-division glory champ, who holds a pair of kickboxing wins over Israel Adesanya, recently finished Andreas Michailidis with a flying knee in his UFC welcome fight. Poatan retired from kickboxing with a record of 33-7 with 21 KOs. Heavy-handed middleweight Bruno Silva knows he is one of the most technical strikers to ever fight in the UFC as an opponent for his next fight. However, Blindado does not intend to take down or grapple the former 2-division glory champion Alex Pereira. In fact, it is quite the opposite. Paired up against Poatan for a fight almost guaranteed to end in a knockout at UFC Fight Night 203, Silva hopes he can rush a brawl with the boxer. Although it would be safer to focus on a grappling game plan, Bruno explains to Combat that would not be the way he fights, claiming he is ready to war against anybody on the feet. It might sound foolish, but he is getting wrong there for sure. He said, "Speaking for myself, I'm going to brawl, just like I do every fight. Every fight, people say the same thing. Oh, this time Blindado will have to take it to the ground because that guy is like this or that. Jordan Wright is going to kill Blindado. He needs to take it to the ground. I've heard all that talk before. It was the same thing back in Russia. You can't trade shots with Shlemenko because he's a specialist. I don't care. I'm going to brawl like I always do. If things get complicated on the feet, then I'll take it to the ground," Bruno continued. "If it goes to the ground, I'm going to throw punches. It's kill or be killed. I'm old school, like Wanderlei Silva, Shogun Rua, or Minotauro. Those guys. That's me. I like to give the fans a thrill. I am for the ones who enjoy a slugfest. That's what I'm going to do, like I always do." Currently on a 3-5 winning streak in the octagon, Silva has knockout wins over Jordan Wright, Andrew Sanchez, and Wellington Turman. However, the 32-year-old is actually on a 7-5 winning streak, with 4 more KO victories before joining the UFC, including an M1 global middleweight title win back in November 2018. The Brazilian's last loss dates back to December 2016, when he got submitted by a Kimura by Moise Rimbon at Phoenix FC 1.
Around the back of Bruno Silva, he will be able to finish this. Oh, and he's got some torque on it. Moise Rimbon, and he stops the fight. That's it. Blake Rice pulls him off, and that is it. Moise Rimbon taps him out. The old veteran.
Overall, Blindado has 19 knockout wins on his mixed martial arts record. Well, that's too impressive. Alex Pereira continues to take on social media to explain why he's fighting fellow Brazilian middleweight Bruno Silva instead of Krzysztof Jotko as his next UFC opponent. Pereira blasted Jotko earlier this week, labeling him uninteresting. On Thursday, Poatan went one step further, criticizing Jotko's entire career and fighting style as the reason why he chose to face a fellow striker next. I asked to fight again soon, but it wasn't easy, Pereira wrote in Portuguese on his Instagram page. The UFC had a hard time finding me an opponent, and, in the end, only 2 accepted to fight me, Jocko and Blindado. Jocko is a notorious lay and pray fighter who's in the UFC for almost 10 years and isn't even ranked. So we thought that the Blindado fight would be more interesting since he's on the rise in the UFC, is coming off 7 connective knockouts and 3 in the organization. I think it's a great fight for both of us and for the fans for sure. My managers, Jonah, and everyone from Tough Media analyze everything regarding to my career. As before my opponents, we look for fights that will push me and create a good impression with the fans that didn't follow me in kickboxing. It doesn't matter right now if they're grapplers or strikers. What matters is them being names that fans like to watch and put on exciting fights. Managing a career is about all that, Pereira continued. Contracts, numbers, fights, training, and they give me all the support I need to focus only about fighting. That's something that exists in the sport. There will always be those trying to talk trash. There's a lot of haters, including compatriots. I've never spoken badly about jiu-jitsu or wrestling at any moment. As a matter of fact, I've been training a lot and for a long time with Glover, and I like both sports. My criticism was aimed at Jocko's style, a brown belt in jiu-jitsu who only has 1 submission and 23 wins and 16 decisions. I'll fight anyone, but if I have the chance to choose between that and a fight that's more stylistically pleasant for me and the fans, of course I'll choose this. No one likes watching boring fights. Don't be surprised when I add some submission wins to my record, Pereira said. I respect MMA and I'm working hard to become a complete fighter. I came here to become champion and dominate the division. Well, considering how much he proved himself outside Octagon, it would be interesting to see how the fighter climbs the mountain of a whole new fighting style. But one thing is for sure, that this fight is surely going to be a war, without a shadow of a doubt. That's enough from us today. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to give us a thumbs up or else Pereira will start kickboxing with you. So subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.